Recording in progress.
For 2 times, so you all know this one.
Welcome to the Namaqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are glad you are here. My name is AnnMarie Kajencki. My pronouns are she, her, and I am your worship associate for today. Please silence your cell phones if you have not already done so. This is a come as you are congregation, and you are welcome here just as you are. I want to extend a special welcome to any visitors. We would love to stay connected, so please sign up for our communications at the main entrance. Here at Namaqua UU, we foster a beloved community that celebrates diversity, strives for peace and justice, acts mindfully for the good of the planet, and inspires spiritual growth through a free and loving search for truth and meaning. We honor the ground we walk upon and acknowledge this land as the traditional and ancestral homeland of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, Ute, and Lakota nations and peoples. We recognize and honor the indigenous peoples as stewards of this land and vow to reconcile the deep wounds that still shape our world today. Announcements. After today's service, there will be a discussion of our congregation's safety and security plan. We will meet here in the sanctuary. Child care will be provided for those of you who would like to stay after service and attend that informational gathering. Monday, February 23rd, the West African drumming class will meet from 11 to 12:30. This coming Saturday, February 28th, the Thriving Men's Group will meet from 10 o'clock to 12 p.m. Next Sunday, March 1st, already, learn how Namakwa is changing and growing as Reverend Dana and Worship Associate Milt Ginos present Building a New Way. After today's service, please join us next door at Parker Hall for satisfying coffee, tea, or water, delicious finger food, and stimulating conversation. Thank you to all those involved in today's service. In the next few minutes, we will learn about our new shared plate recipient for the months of March and April, Worthy Now Prison Ministry. I invited a video today rather than a real person, so sit back and listen to the presentation on the slide. Thank you.
Greetings. I'm the Reverend Dr. Michael Tino, part of the lead ministry team at the Church of the Larger Fellowship, and I'm here today to thank you for your generous giving to our Worthy Now prison ministry. For over 80 years, the CLF has provided ministry to Unitarian Universalists who could not find a home in local congregations because of distance, barriers of ability, or other circumstances. When incarcerated Unitarian Universalists asked us if that also included them, we said, of course. It turns out, not surprisingly, that a UU theology that proclaims that every person is inherently worthy of love just as they are is a life-saving theology to people faced with daily dehumanization and torture in the U.S. prison industrial complex. Our inclusive theology affirms the humanity of queer and transgender people, often incarcerated in facilities that do not match their gender identity, often, too often, the targets of brutal violence. Our pluralist theology welcomes people whose theologies, humanist, atheist, pagan, Buddhist, and others, isolate and marginalize them in prison facilities dominated by conservative Christianity. As this life-affirming and life-saving message spread by word of mouth, our incarcerated membership began to grow. In 2002, we served 49 incarcerated UUs. In 2019, we passed 1,000. Today, the Church of the Larger Fellowship includes over 2,000 incarcerated UU members in 47 states across the United States. Each week, we get a dozen or more applications or inquiries from people who have heard of the ministry we do. We fully expect our incarcerated membership will pass 3,000 in just a few years. Our Worthy Now ministry provides incarcerated UUs with vital touchstones and opportunities for spiritual growth and relationships. Once new members have completed a new UU course, they are eligible to be matched with a Free World Pen Pal. Our Pen Pal ministry connects UUs all around the world with incarcerated UUs one-on-one. In addition, we provide pastoral care, classes, our CLF Quest monthly magazine, the 3 times yearly Worthy Now newsletter, birthday greetings, and holiday messages. New this year is a partnership with Beacon Press that will allow us to supply books to our incarcerated members for only the cost of postage. All of this ministry is done in a carceral system that tries its best to isolate and dehumanize people, to cut them off from their support networks. Because of this, our Worthy Now ministry is labor-intensive and costly, and as it grows, those costs are only going to increase. We at CLF provide this ministry on behalf of Unitarian Universalists everywhere, because we are uniquely positioned to do it, and we are glad to. We rely on our siblings in faith to volunteer to be pen pals and to send holiday greetings. We rely on your generosity as well to help fund this ministry. Thank you so much for your congregation's generosity. We are so glad to have you as our partners in this life-saving work.
For today's chalice lighting, I'm going to read an excerpt from Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, but I wanted to share with you that yesterday evening when Janen and I were talking about today's service, I asked her, she is the one who chose this reading for today, and I asked her if she knew what Khalil, K-A-H-L-I-L, Gibran's first name, means in Arabic. And she said no, and I didn't know this either. I just went online to find out how to pronounce it properly. Khalil in Arabic means friend. And I thought how the universe was looking out for us today. And thank you, Janen, for being so in tune. And a youth said, "Speak to us of friendship." And he answered, saying, "Your friends are your needs answered. They are your field with which you sow with love and reap with thanksgiving. And they are your board and your fireside. For you come to them with your hunger and you seek them for peace. When you part from your friends, you grieve not, for that which you love most in them may be clearer in their absence as the mountain to the climber is clear from the plain. And let there be no purpose in friendship save the deepening of the spirit. And let your best be for your friends. If they must know the ebb of your tide, let them know its flood also. For what are your friends that you should seek them with hours to kill? Seek them always with hours to live. For it is theirs to fill your need, but not your emptiness. And in the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures. For in the dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed. We light this chalice to honor our past friendships, to honor our present friendships, and to honor continued and new precious connections.
Good morning. The writer Mark Nepo teaches that an ancient translation of the word friendship is a place of high safety. Friendship, a place of high safety. And it's often been said in many different ways that the quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. I'm sure it's not news to anybody that our country is facing a loneliness crisis, sometimes called a loneliness epidemic or a friendship recession. According to a huge 2023 survey, over half of American adults say they are lonely and or isolated. Over half. This is unprecedented. 1 out of 5 people say they do not have a close friend. 1 out of 5 people. And loneliness does not just hurt people emotionally in anxiety and depression, which of course it does. It also weakens the heart and shortens the lifespan. We humans, as social animals, are not wired to go through life alone. We're just not. The good news is that having a friend reverses all of this. People with friends are happier, healthier, and live longer. Fostering friendship should be one of our first priorities. But as we're seeing, friendship is so easily sidelined in our modern world of productivity, materialism, and now screens. In contrast, romantic relationships are given the grand stage in our culture. Just listen to the theme of 99.9% of our music. Right? Whereas all the well-known songs about friendship we're singing today. As a culture, we treat friendship as a luxury instead of the absolute necessity that it actually is. Think of the phrase, we're just friends. We're just friends. So what our country needs is a friendship revolution. If we treated being a friend as a vocation, if we truly believed that to be someone's friend is just as important as being a professional or a partner or a parent, the world would be a different place, a better place. So today we're going to explore the power of friendship, celebrate the blessings of friends, and learn a few things that we can do to be a better friend. And we're so glad that you all came out to be with us. So now let's first say our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this congregation and service its call.
This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Very good. And now let's share our friendship by greeting those around you.
Okay. Hello.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. I'm not sure what lyrics you guys have on the screen. This is my fault. I should have double checked where we're at that chorus again. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. We'll call it
I get to do the story for all ages today, so if any kids want to come up and help me. All right. Have a seat. Okay, I'll come down. We're going to look up at the screen mostly, but... Okay, so there's many great friendships depicted in movies and, books, and we're going to look at some of those in just a second. But when I was a little girl, I loved books about George and Martha. I bet you guys haven't really heard of those. Anyone in the audience read books about George and Martha? They were hippopotamuses, as you can see. And I think they were brothers and sisters because they lived together. And did you know you could be friends with your brother and sister? You can, yeah. So my favorite story had something to do with split pea soup because Martha loved making split pea soup. Like, she made it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She'd even wake up in the middle of the night just to make split pea soup. I know, and as you can imagine, George got tired of eating split pea soup. He got to where he could not even take another bite. He was so tired of it. So when Martha went into the kitchen, George poured his split pea soup into his slippers that were under the table. But Martha watched him from the kitchen, and she saw what he did. So she came and said, George, how are you going to walk in your slippers if they're full of split pea soup? And George said, oh, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. That's silly, said Martha. Friends can always tell each other the truth. Actually, I'm kind of tired of split pea soup myself. Maybe I'll make us some macaroni and cheese. And so she did. I still remember that story from when I was very young. I think of squishing my slippers in split pea soup. Okay, so just for fun, let's see if you know some more famous friends that you might have seen. Do you guys know who that is? Say it loud. On Sesame Street? I know these people know. Bert and Ernie, what is wrong with our world? Good job. Let's see. Do you know who these people are? William. Excellent. Yep. How about those guys? You know what? I don't know this one either. I know the dog is Mudge, but I forget the little boy's name. Mudge and somebody? Do you remember? Maybe Frank. Okay. And Christopher Robin. Yeah, good job. Yep. Mm-hmm. Charlotte and Wilbur, very good, very good. I said, Elsa and Anna. Mm-hmm. The man in the yellow hat, yeah. Very good. Very good. Jack and Annie. Yeah, Jack and Annie. Magic Tree House books, right? Very good. Baloo. Mowgli and Baloo. Very good. Yep, even grown-ups can be friends. Very good. That's it. All right, so now we're going to let you go with your friends to your Sunday school class, and George's and Josie's mom is going to be your teacher today with Charlie. Yeah, so we'll make a bridge. We'll give him a minute to make a bridge. Stand up. Without stepping on my interest in my
We send our children off with love, short and tall, we love them all. We send our children off with love, we hope they know how cherished they are. We hope they know how cherished they are.
We come together each week to share our lives and care for each other through all that life brings. If you have a brief personal joy or sorrow you would like to share, please come forward to raise your hand for the mic. Please be sure to share your name when you share your comments, and those on Zoom can share in the chat. Is there anyone?
Hi, I'm Janet, in case anybody forgot. And I'm here. So that's my good news. It's a joy. Don't get used to it. I might not feel good next week.
We hold you in our heart.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pete, and just had my shoulder redone here, so I'm kind of gimping around, but the boss here has got me under control, so I have to do all those doggone exercises right every day. But everything's going fine. It's going to be a little while before I'm fully functional again, but anyway, I appreciate all the support that you guys have been sending me. So again, thank you.
We hold you in our heart.
Hi, Michelle Ritter, who is frequently at the welcome table and is a member of Namaqua. Her sister in Texas just passed away over the weekend, and she is there cleaning up. And she will be coming back. I think she's flying back today. But when you see her, please give her a hug.
We hold you in our hearts. How about Zoom? Nothing on Zoom? Okay. Well, we hold these joys today, and any unspoken joys and sorrow, we also hold those in our hearts as well. Each week, you support the work of this congregation and all the ways we live our values in the world through your own generosity. In addition to supporting this congregation, a portion of your donations support a local nonprofit organization helping us make a difference beyond our walls. This Sunday concludes our collection for Alternatives to Violence, an organization that provides shelter, advocacy, education, and resources for people impacted by domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. Please give generously to Alternatives to Violence. Giving you lunch money. You take your lunch in a brown bag.
So there's a really interesting study on rats. Some of you might have heard of this, but first they put a rat in a cage with plenty of food and two options of drink, water or water laced with drugs. The rat chose the drug water, it was morphine, time and time again until it drank itself to a premature death. Another scientist came along years later and said, yes, but rats are social animals, so you have to create a normal environment in order to make this study valid. So he kept the pure water and the water laced with drugs, but added a rat park that included interesting places to go, fun things to do, and most importantly, other rats to pal around with. The rats that inhabited Rat Park only tasted the laced water once, and then drank only the good water as they lived out their happy rat lives together. It turns out we humans are not so different from rats. We learned in our mindfulness group that the cure to addiction is connection. The addiction to substances, work, money, shopping, food, gambling, you name it, are all ways we try to fill the holes in our lives that are caused by not enough true connection. Friends make for wonderful connections. So what constitutes a friend? First, let's define what friendship is not. I listened to a really good TED Talk by Sheridan Voysey, and he says, if you are the giver in a relationship, if you are always the giver in a relationship, that is not friendship. That is charity. If you are always the receiver in a relationship, that is not friendship. That is dependency. The dance of true friendship is made up of give and take and is centered on knowing and letting oneself be known. Voysey says a healthy friendship has 4 things. A friend is someone you can talk to, depend on, grow with, and enjoy. Friendship grows where joy is shared. That's why friendship is so wonderful. This positive exchange is absolutely the core of friendship. Like AnnMarie said, in the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures. Friendship also requires dependability, honesty, and vulnerability. The determination to show up and be real with another person. So it requires some social courage, right? I read a book by Shasta, I brought it, but I don't need to show you. I read a book by Shasta Nielsen called Frientimacy. This book talks about how most people feel an intimacy gap between the friendships they have and the ones that they want. due to a lack of social skills that are not taught in our society. Many people feel lonely not because they lack people in their lives, but because their relationships with people lack depth. I think that's huge. And to cut to the chase, basically, if you always talk about shallow topics, you'll always have shallow relationships, right? And yet, most of us spend longer thinking about what we're going to wear to a social occasion than what we're going to talk about, right? And one of my pet peeves is going to restaurants and seeing a couple sit down and never say a word to each other. You know, people bond through talking, and there's a million, trillion, bazillion things to talk about. And in this day and age, it's easy. We have no excuse, because I'm sure many of you know, my 5 millennial kids mostly taught me this, but all you have to do is pull out your phone and ask it questions, right? Or get on your computer. Recently, my husband and I asked our phone, what are some good questions for a couple on their 35th anniversary that now have 5 young adult kids? Seriously, in an instant, it spit out 30 questions. Lighthearted, deep understanding, looking forward, looking backwards. I mean, you name it. They were amazing questions. So there's no excuse. And you can be really deliberate about it. You can come to your lunch and say, I have some questions for us to answer so that we can get to know each other better. Voila. It's not hard. For years, I printed out a few pages of good conversations, topics, and questions, and left them in all the glove departments of all of our cars for long road trips. Driving is a great opportunity for deep conversations. Honestly, sometimes I'm so sad to get to our destination because of the depth and the just brilliance of our conversations that we've had. I didn't come up with those questions. You know, they're just there for the taking. The idea is not to get through all the questions, of course, but to find a question that sparks a conversation that's meaningful, right? So back to this book. Many women and some men report their friendships never feel 50-50. How many of you can relate to that? How many of you have ever felt that you care more about your friends than your friends care about you? I'd have to raise my hand sometimes. And it turns out that this is very common. And this is my very favorite part of the book. Nielsen says that it's likely true that your friendships are not 50-50, and that's okay. We can't expect everyone to be on the same page at the same time or love in the same way. And I would add that it's also true that some people develop a larger capacity for loving than other people. That's just a fact of life. So it's not always going to be equal. The real question is whether we feel the energy we put out to our friends brings joy and meaning back to us. In other words, if a friend refuses our every invitation, then that's one thing. But if they say yes regularly and we enjoy our time with them, then that friendship is to be treasured, not measured, right? The truth is, when we give to a friendship, it is to our benefit as much as to our friends, and maybe even more. I would say more. So this needs to be our mantra. When I give to my friendships, I am giving to myself. And the beautiful thing is that we're also making the world such a better place. We don't want to give, from an empty bucket or people please or be friendly to manipulate. But as long as our motives are pure, we don't have to limit our outreach and the joy that we can derive from all kinds of friends just because it's not equal, right? And this, I think, is an important aside. I'll just toss it in there. I learned in this book, too, that when it comes to friendship, about 50% of us are initiators and 50% of us are not, which is okay, as long as the non-initiators thank the initiators for asking them to get together. Because obviously, if nobody initiates, there's no relationship, right? So if you happen to be one who doesn't tend to initiate, that's fine, but just thank your initiating friends regularly, and that helps to offset the imbalance. It takes less than a minute to say, thank you for calling. I was thinking of you too. I'm so glad we can get together and chat. It's not a big deal, but studies show that most initiators who are thanked for that service are more than happy to keep doing it, right? And it helps the relationship grow and stay in balance. So I thought that was really interesting. Just like a monkey, an elephant, a fish, a lion are very different animals. Our friends play different roles in our lives. They all have different strengths. And there's this whole list. There's builders, champions, collaborators, companions, connectors, energizers, mind openers, navigators. I think we all shift roles according to the dynamics of the relationship we're in. It's not like we're always just one, but the goal isn't to have well-rounded friends who are all things for us, but to have a well-rounded group of friends from whom we can benefit in different ways. We can know what roles our friends play in our life. And if you know that one of your friends is great at giving advice, think of something specific that you could ask them to weigh in on, like I did with AnnMarie the other day. If you have a friend who's always encouraging, then get with them when you're feeling really down and just feel the blessing of that relationship. Also, I have always felt that one of the very best things about friendship is that we can extend this wonderful gift even to people that we don't know. We can be the answer to someone else's prayers. In writing this reflection, I have vowed to host a block party, which I've put off for like 12 years so far. This is the spring that I'm going to do a block party just so that I can meet those lonely people, because they are there in every neighborhood. And I can be a friend. I love being a friend. So that's my quest. In closing, I'd like to share a friendship story that happened to Naomi Nye. She's the one that writes Kindness, that amazing poem that so many of us love. So she says, after learning my flight had been delayed for 4 hours, I heard the announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate 4A understands any Arabic, please come immediately to the gate. Well, one pauses these days, she says. But Gate 4A was my own gate, so I went there. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian dress, just like my grandmother wore, was crumpled on the floor, wailing. Please help, said the flight service person. Talk to her. What is her problem? We told her the flight was going to be 4 hours late, and she did this. I stooped to put my arm around the woman and spoke to her haltingly. The minute she heard my words, although poorly used, she stopped crying. It turned out she thought our flight had been canceled entirely, and she needed to be in El Paso for a major medical treatment that she had been waiting for many months. I said, no, we're fine. You'll get there just a little late. Who's picking you up? I'll call them. We called her son, and I spoke with him in English. I told him I would stay with his mother. Then while we were waiting, we called her other sons. Then we called my dad, and she spoke for a while in Arabic. They found out, of course, that they had 10 friends in common. Then I thought, just for the heck of it, why not call some Palestinian poets I know and let them chat with her? This all took time. She was laughing a lot by then, telling about her life, patting my knee, answering questions. She had pulled a sack of homemade cookies out of her bag and was offering them to all the people at the gate. I noticed my new friend, by now we were holding hands, had a potted plant poking out of her bag, some medicinal thing with green furry leaves. Such an old country traveling tradition. Always carry a plant. Always stay rooted somewhere. And I looked around that gate of late and weary ones, and I thought, this is the world I want to live in. This shared world. Not a single person at that gate, once the crying of confusion stopped, seemed apprehensive about any other person. They took the cookies. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost. So I just want to challenge all of us to prioritize strengthening the friendships that we have, as well as finding opportunities to be a friend to those in our neighborhood, those in our jobs, those in our life who are lonely. And we do this by prioritizing time with others each month. Get your calendar out and put those phone calls, put those dates, set it up so that these things happen. And the rest of your discretionary time, you can watch Netflix and whatever else we fill our time with. I made see my jar, the rocks are the friendship, the big rocks are the friendship, and then all the rest fills in. There's your visual. But I've been working with kids too long. But really, if we truly realize how important, how life-saving friendship is, right here in this very room, we can start a friendship revolution. This room could be where the stone hits and then ripples out into the wider world. May it be so.
Let's become more present right now and meditate together. So if you'd please place your feet flat on the floor and feel your back and rear supported by the pew or the chair in which you sit. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Take in a deep breath through your nose. Hold. Exhale through your mouth. Take another deep breath. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. One more. Inhale deeply. Hold. Release. A poem by Rosemary Watola Tromer titled A Great Shining. What if, in this moment, every person on earth thinks of someone who makes us feel cherished, known, safe? What if we let ourselves linger in this moment of connection? What might happen inside each body? What might happen in the world as in unison our breaths begin to even and slow? Would the pulsing of our hearts begin to sync the way heart cells in a petri dish come to keep time with each other? What if Earth is not a great experiment in which we are all both observer and observed? How long could it last, this rhythmic communion between jailer and prisoner, oppressor and oppressed, between fighter and fighter, maker and destroyer, parent and child, liar and believer, all of us thinking of love? Foolish, perhaps, to imagine such impossible moments, but more foolish not to imagine such things. Even now, I'm thinking of someone. It feels like the moon is inside me.
very polished today. It's the way you smile at me. It's the way you make me laugh. It's the way you always find the words to say. Everything that you give, everything that you take, it's the way you choose to meet me halfway. I'm so glad we share this world. Your love's a gift, I treasure it. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being you. Your open arms know how to hold. Your open door welcomes me. Your honesty is something I take comfort in. Showing me the perfect day. You show me love my eyes can't see. Because of you, my life is simply beautiful. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being you. Your love is a gift, I treasure it. Simply beautiful. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being you. Feel free to join in. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being you. Let's do it a couple more times now that we're all doing it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being you.
I'd like to share with you some facts about three of my friends. The first friend is always accommodating. If I want to go on a hike, she will take me hiking. If she thinks I'd be interested in viewing the most recent Downton Abbey film, she will invite me to watch it in the comfort of her home. After all my recent surgeries, she consistently asked if I needed anything, if I had enough to eat, if I were craving something in particular. A few days after I returned home after surgery, it was she who suggested we go on a short walk outside for the first time, now. Halfway down the alley and back home again at a snail's pace. All the while she made sure I was steady and okay, reducing her pace to my baby steps. Recently we took a 4-mile hike. Knowing my social life is a bit lean, she's the one who, during those periods of severe drought, leaves thoughtful texts to make sure I'm still alive by asking, for example, if I'd be interested in taking half her elongated English cucumber. This friend always listens whenever I share one of my many epiphanies. Always supportive, always patient, always kind, and tremendously fun to spend any amount of time with. Often I have told her she is the best. I love this friend very deeply. My second friend is a true blessing. We are quiet friends who enjoy a picnic together, complete with a small table, tablecloth, 2 chairs, and a 5-course meal set in Sculpture Park. We have made chocolate truffles together as well as shortbread dessert. Another time we prepared a delicious salmon niçoise dinner. Sipping tea on her 2nd-story deck, I have watched hummingbirds feed and entertain. She is the friend whom I've heard say without actually addressing me how precious I am. My eyes fill with tears when she says this because she is most precious to me. We have a favorite activity in which we love to engage. Sometimes that activity is all we do during our time together, and afterwards we both feel invigorated and filled. Our conversations are sublime. Her presence and kindness are deeply valued. My third friend shares delightful walks and hikes with me as well as delicious meals. And when the occasion arises, she will go far beyond the call of duty. For example, she wanted to be supportive during a recent surgery I underwent this past October. A couple days before the big day, I reminded her the surgery would take 3 to 4 hours, so she could be with me before I was wheeled into the operating room, but suggested she should go home and return to the hospital after all the fireworks. I have learned over the years not to argue with her. She's a redhead. She remained at the hospital over 12 hours just to make sure I was okay. She shares with me things going on in her life. I share with her things going on in mine. I know I can trust her. She knows she can trust me. I am so very grateful to have friends whom I love completely. They nourish me. They comfort me. They make me smile and laugh. They radiate honesty, integrity, authenticity. They possess an open heart and an open mind. They fill me with light. As Gibran states, let your best be for your friend, and in the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures. For in the dew of little things, the heart finds its morning and is refreshed.
Would you rise as you're willing and body your spirit to sing Lean on Me? Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. share your load. If you just call me, lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
It was Helen Keller who said, "I would rather walk with a friend in the dark than walk alone in the light." We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the energy of action. These we carry forth with us to make this a better world.